A little sponge can stir up a tidal wave of scandals. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 SpongeBob controversies.
But you can't tear up my highway. It's indestructible! Not if we have anything to do with it.
Larry Lobster!
For this list, we're taking a look at instances where SpongeBob SquarePants ignited controversy amongst fans, staff members, or other organizations.
There's nothing on earth like the feeling of greed. There's nothing on earth like the feeling of greed.
Number 10. SpongeBob causes weight gain? We all know that Patrick Star spends most of his days eating in front of the television, but what happens when life starts imitating art?
By the way, you forgot your briefcase.
According to a 2005 report, the National Academies Institute of Medicine found compelling evidence that connected the US's alarming childhood obesity rates to television commercials featuring popular cartoon characters like SpongeBob. The report suggested that such advertising encourages unhealthy eating habits and that Congress should intervene if the food industry won't change.
Told you it was easy.
To its credit, SpongeBob has promoted some healthy products like baby carrots. Over the years, though, you've probably passed by a lot of high-sugar items at the grocery store with SpongeBob's face plastered on. Still, those limited edition wild bubbleberry Pop-Tarts were pretty delicious. Number 9. Internal dilemmas and dipping in quality. We've all heard it before. SpongeBob went off the deep end after season 3, and the 2004 feature film should have served as the series finale.
But most of all,
Hey, settle down. Take it easy.
I'm-
What the scallop? I'm a goofy goober!
Fans aren't the only ones who felt this way. Creator Steven Hillenburg thought the franchise had peaked with the movie and was ready to bow out before entering shark-jumping territory. Regardless, Nickelodeon ordered new episodes, unwilling to part with their cash cow, as storyboard director Sam Henderson put it. Even after Hillenburg stepped down as showrunner, the network pressed on with Paul Tibbitt steering the ship. Many have argued that the show suffered as a result, becoming over-reliant on gross-out gags and mean-spirited humor. Nevertheless, SpongeBob remains one of Nick's most profitable properties. And you know what Mr. Krabs says.
The money is always right.
Number 8. Spin-offs. Hillenburg was also reportedly against doing SpongeBob spin-offs, despite pressure from the higher-ups to expand upon the franchise. Nickelodeon honored Hillenburg's wishes, until he passed away in 2018 due to heart failure brought on by ALS. Less than a year after Hillenburg's passing, Nickelodeon, under the leadership of President Brian Robbins, officially greenlit a CG animated prequel series entitled Camp Coral, which would focus on a younger SpongeBob and his friends. Given Hillenburg's feelings on spin-offs, many felt that this was in poor taste. Paul Tibbitt even wrote on Twitter, quote, "This is some greedy, lazy executiving right here. And they all know full well Steve would have hated this. Shame on them." In addition to Camp Coral, a Squidward spin-off is also in the works for Netflix.
I'm losing money on this deal.
Number 7. SpongeBob Sailor Mouth.
Krabs is,
Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
Although SpongeBob can appeal to all ages, Sailor Mouth feels like it was written more for adult viewers than children. In the episode, SpongeBob and Patrick pick up on 13 bad words, which are hilariously bleeped out with nautical noises.
Isn't that the red sweaty guy you work for?
Nah, not that word. That word.
It may be a favorite amongst various fans, critics, and crew members, but the Parents Television Council wasn't amused by the episode's satirical take on swearing. Despite listing SpongeBob as one of the best cable shows, the PTC targeted Sailor Mouth in a report entitled "Wolves in Sheep's Clothing," suggesting that it promoted bad language. The New York Daily News' Richard Huff argued that the PTC misrepresented the episode, calling the group out in an article entitled "A Four-Letter Word for Decency Police, Lame."
Hello, customers! Nice day we're having, huh?
Number 6. Plankton's 13 Reasons Why. There are bad SpongeBob episodes, and then there's one-course meal. In case you've been fortunate enough to never have seen this despised episode, the plot revolves around Mr. Krabs dressing up as a whale to petrify Plankton.
What's the point of going on? I'll just be tortured for the rest of my life by that whale.
Krabs' relentless scare tactics compel Plankton to lie down in the middle of the street, waiting for a bus to run him over. Viewers have heavily criticized this episode for not only treating Plankton so cruelly, but for turning a suicide attempt into a punchline, on a Nicktoon no less.
Man, what does it take to get run over around here?
Come to think of it, SpongeBob has made a few suicide jokes. Yet One Course Meal is the episode that really got under people's skin, and this insensitive scene alone was enough to make fans rage quit. Number 5. SpongeBob Got Back. SpongeBob being featured in a Burger King commercial may not sound like anything irregular, but this has got to be one of the strangest marketing campaigns ever. In this 2009 promotion, the Burger King mascot is seen partying with female backup dancers, all of whom are given square butts the size of phone books.
I like square butts and I cannot lie. Squid and sea star can't deny.
The advertisement is set to a remix of Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back, complete with new lyrics inspired by SpongeBob and the other Bikini Bottom residents. Although the ad was aimed at adult fans as opposed to kids, the campaign for a commercial-free childhood argued that SpongeBob and sex just didn't mix, starting a letter-writing campaign to have it pulled. We guess you could say that it wasn't sponge-worthy for them.
So you think you're sponge-worthy?
Yes, I think I'm sponge-worthy. I think I'm very sponge-worthy.
Number 4. Negative portrayal of unemployment.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, what's the good word?
Well, actually, SpongeBob, there's 2 words. And they're not very good. You're fired.
In the episode SpongeBob You're Fired, everyone's favorite fry cook is devastated when he's let go from the Krusty Krab so his boss can save money. A nickel, to be precise. While SpongeBob sinks into a deep depression, Patrick points out all the pros that come with being unemployed.
I got fired.
Hey, that's great! Being unemployed is the best gig I know!
SpongeBob doesn't share Patrick's enthusiasm about mooching off others, insisting that he needs a job. Some saw this as a jab towards US citizens who rely on social services, such as the food stamps program. Although this probably wasn't the episode's intention, various news outlets were drawing parallels between SpongeBob and the country's economic struggles. However you interpret it, we're still not sure how SpongeBob can afford a pineapple house on such a low salary. Number 3. Left-wing SpongeBob. Where some thought SpongeBob You're Fired was too right-wing, other episodes have been criticized for leaning left. In Season 4's Selling Out, the Krusty Krab is purchased by a wealthy entrepreneur who turns the restaurant into another soulless fast food franchise.
Sold! Give me my money!
Just one thing. If you could sign this contract, just states that you relinquish the Krusty Krab and all proprietary ownership thereof, along with its employees, merchandise, logos, and cash registers.
The episode was seen as a knock against big business, which is ironic since SpongeBob is a billion-dollar property owned by a major corporation. Big business was the subject of debate once again in SpongeBob's Last Stand, but what really ruffled conservative feathers was the episode's environmental message. In response to an environmentally conscious book entitled SpongeBob Goes Green, Fox News' Steve Doocy accused Nickelodeon of having a global warming agenda. Dave Briggs was also outraged that SpongeBob was backing, unproven science.
Yes, they really are going after SpongeBob SquarePants for trying to get kids to read and learn about the environment.
Number 2. SpongeBob and short attention spans.
SpongeBob? Over here!
Based on a 2011 study conducted by the University of Virginia and published in the journal Pediatrics, it was reported that 4-year-olds who watched energetic cartoons like SpongeBob were inclined to perform worse on tests. Meanwhile, children who watched slower-paced educational programs like Caillou were more focused. According to the university's professor of psychology, Angeline S. Lillard, quote, "The children who watched the cartoon were operating at half the capacity compared to other children."
We just want to know your name.
Nickelodeon responded saying that SpongeBob isn't intended for preschool audiences, but rather older kids between the ages of 6 and 11. Besides, it's also been debated if Caillou is the best show for preschoolers to watch, given the titular character's whiny tendencies. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. SpongeBob's Gay Agenda. Long before there was a social media campaign to give Elsa a girlfriend, speculation arose over whether SpongeBob and Patrick were more than BFFs. The debate regarding SpongeBob's sexual orientation sparked from an online music video released by We Are Family Foundation. Featuring clips from SpongeBob and other kids' shows, the video was meant to spread diversity.
Get up, everybody, and sing! Get up now! Get up and sing!
However, James Dobson, the founder of Focus on the Family, jumped to the conclusion that SpongeBob was supposed to represent homosexuality. The website Family Under the Protection of the Holy Virgin has also claimed that the show is a, quote, promotion of homosexuality. Of course, Hillenburg personally always saw SpongeBob as almost asexual, saying, quote, we're just trying to be funny, and this has got nothing to do with the show.
It's about imagination.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.